Okay, Netflix. You all are really doing your thing though with Worst Neighbor Ever. Episode 2, Midwest Meltdown. I just, wow. So, Monty and Mark are a couple. Let's rewind it. Monty originally lived in her neighborhood with her husband, and they eventually get a divorce. And by all accounts, her neighbor said she was very enjoyable. She's a pleasure to be around. She's a nurse, so you assume very caring person. Then eventually, her and her husband get a divorce, and she ends up meeting a guy named Mark. And by all accounts, the neighbors were instantly uncomfortable with his presence. They told their children not to be near their home, be careful, and Mark had an ankle monitor on. Now, when I say this, I'm not saying it to cast judgment on anybody or say anything negative about anybody with an ankle monitor. I'm just stating the facts of the story. So let's get that out there right. So one neighbor's account is that they kept seeing a white van in front of their house for a few months and things being moved like a lot. And one night, by all the neighbors' accounts, they're just doing what every run of the mill family's doing, chilling, watching TV in their rooms, doing, just chillaxing. And then suddenly there's this big just boom through the whole neighborhood. One woman said she felt like she was suddenly under pressure, which she was because that pressure was her house. There was a huge explosion in their neighborhood, completely dissipating a few homes and causing damage to the other homes surrounding the vicinity of where the explosion took place. We'll come to find out it was Muncie's house. And at the time, everyone was like, thank goodness that she wasn't home when it happened and her daughter wasn't home because she would not have survived that explosion. Um, it was just devastating. And this is such a terrible story just from hearing how close knit this neighborhood was before everything happened. So you would think tragedy would bring everyone closer together, and that's what began to happen until the full investigation and a full picture was drawn, and we come to the conclusion that it was not an accident. Muncie and her boyfriend Mark, and with help from his brother, did this on purpose for an insurance scheme. They did this for $300,000. That is the worth of all the damage and the deaths because there are two victims of this crime. John Longworth and Jennifer Longworth were murdered in this explosion. And this explosion was the result of an insurance scheme. Let that sink in your head. You're at home minding your own business and you are doing the one thing that they say that does not put you in danger's way, and then you end up dying. And the saddest part is that John ended up, he almost could have been saved, but the EMS had such a hard time getting to him. He unfortunately passed away while they were trying to retrieve him. Um, Mark was a scammer from the get go, and I'm not giving one party more credit than the other of who's the worst of the worst because this is just a horrible crime all around. A woman gave a testament of when she dated Mark that he hustled her for $10,000 and literally dumped her the next day, just to give you an idea of what type of character we're dealing with here. Um, Muncie showed up to court when she went to trial, and by all accounts, she pretended to feel sorry and she pretended to show remorse, but it was very inauthentic, very scripted. It was very much for show. Um, Mark, just a piece of work. We know this was done on purpose because when the fire investigators went in and looked at the home, they could see that different things had been tampered with to cause the explosion. And from what we know, is that there were two additional times that they had tried to do this before. Muncie ended up getting or being the whistleblower out of the whole group, and she disclosed that they had tried to do this a couple of times and had failed before. Um, the other things that the investigators discovered during the investigation was before Muncie even confessed, she literally had booked a cat sitter. She loved her cat, so her cat was worth more than human lives. And I'm an animal lover, but just the disgust I felt when I heard that part of the story, because she does get a cat sitter, she gets a child sitter. They go to the casino a few hours away for an alibi. And it's just the little things. It's like, thank God criminals aren't so smart, because they go to the casino and they're supposed to be gone on a mini trip, but they never booked a hotel room. So that just goes to show that they planned on just using that as a quick alibi. And then when the explosion happened, come back and like, we had no idea what happened. How did this happen? Um, but it's a crazy story. I hope everyone's getting into the worst neighbor season that's come out, because, like I said, the episodes have been pretty intriguing so far. All of them are in jail except Mark's brother, because he passed away in 2018. A lot of the neighbors actually moved away after the fact. They said they couldn't live in that neighborhood after everything that happened. It was just too much of a difficult memory, reasonably so. Um, but yeah, that's all I got for this episode. I'm going to go into episode 3. So I should have a review up maybe later tonight or tomorrow. But have a good night. Bye.